Hey folks, I'm Carissa.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome to New Strangeland. Hello. I'm Carissa.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome back to New Strangeland. On this week's episode, we are talking about the grave of the last vampire.
Ooh, cue the thunder.
That's not thunder.
Terrible thunder.
Yeah.
I've never heard thunder that sounded like that. Like, not once in my life.
It's new thunder.
If that's what thunder sounded like, I think my dogs would be far less terrified. They wouldn't cower in the bathroom. They'd probably bark at the front door.
Knock, knock, it's me, Thunder.
What's up, bitch? It's me, Thunder. Knock, knock, motherfucker. Anyways. So, the grave of the last vampire. Here's a little tiddly tale for you guys. So, the grave of the last vampire is located in Exeter, Rhode Island. Ooh. And I am just a self-centered New Hampshireite that thinks that the only Exeter is Exeter, New Hampshire.
Right.
So, I'm not going to lie. When at first I saw Exeter, I was just like, oh my god, this is in Exeter, New Hampshire? Why have I never heard about this? And I'm like, oh, it's in Rhode Island. Never mind. I mean, Rhode Island is really just one city.
It's real small.
It's so small, guys. It's so small.
What does it take, like an hour to get from one side to the other?
I feel like if that.
Yeah.
It's a quick drive.
It's a quick drive.
But anyways, Exeter, Rhode Island. Yes, that's good. So.
Yes. That's good.
And it's located in the Chestnut Hill Baptist Church Cemetery.
Ooh.
Yes, that's quite a name. I feel like that was a lot of words in that cemetery.
Chestnut Hill
Baptist Church.
It sounds like it wouldn't have the grave of the last vampire.
No, it really doesn't. I
Hello,
feel like
I'm the last vampire, and I reside in Chestnut Hill.
Chestnut Hill Baptist Church. I don't know why I put like church, like a southern twang. But anyways, so let's take it back now to 1892, which, you know what? What the hickety-wickety-dickety.
We were just talking about 1892.
Wow, Lizzie Borden, hello. Oh, wait, we haven't released this episode yet of Lizzie Borden.
Well, but, you know.
We recorded backwards. You're going to get the Lizzie Borden one. Next week, spoiler alert.
Alert.
But, whatever.
Coincidence. 1892.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's not correct, I know, but...
I was going to say, like, that's...
That's not factual whatsoever. Anyways, ye old 1892. All right, so you have a 19-year-old Mary Lena Brown. She was the last known corpse to be exhumed, mutilated, and cannibalized in order to kill her vampiricness.
Oh, her vampiricness.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's think about that. It's 1892, and she was a corpse. And they took her out of her goddamn grave, mutilated her, and ate her.
How long was she a corpse for?
Let's get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. But I just thought that was kind of
No,
fucked
I mean,
up.
yeah, I just got questions, because, like,
I just got questions, man.
Because that just seems like
We'll get
pretty,
to the nits and grits soon.
Well, just pull you out of your grave, you're resting in and dead, and...
So, that's the gist of that. So let me take you to, why there's vampires in New England. Because what the fuck?
I mean, can I meet them?
What? Edward Cullen.
Edward Cullen.
He's sparkle. So, late 18th century began the vampire panic, or vampiric panic. Yes. So, the late 18th century began the vampire panic. Victims of the vampire panic showed symptoms of ashen skin, sunken eyes, and even blood dripping from their mouths.
Oh.
When a victim died, a member of their family, or even a close neighbor, would end up falling to the same fate. This vampire panic claimed 25% of the East Coast population.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck? Members of the community affected were desperate to be rid of these monsters, and they took to dismembering suspected vampire corpses, hoping it would rid them. And, unfortunately, it didn't work. Because, they weren't fucking vampires. Vampires aren't real.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this sounds sort of like some sort of sickness.
Yeah. So, any guesses to what sickness could possibly be plaguing these people?
The plague?
No. Good try. But, so...
Is it the Spanish flu? No, that's later.
No, you're too early.
No, I wanna get it.
Okay. Don't look at my nose.
I didn't.
She's cheating. I'm telling.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you will.
Oh, is that a threat?
Yeah, it's a promise. So, it's actually, there was an outbreak of consumption. What consumption is tuberculosis.
Oh.
So
that was my next guess.
Oh, I'm sure. Tuberculosis gave everyone all these symptoms. And
it turns people into vampires?
Yes.
Okay, let's get tuberculosis.
Let's get oh my god, have you ever had a tuberculosis test?
Test?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you get the shot, don't you?
Well, okay, so, because when I was 17, I worked in a nursing home, and you have to get a TB tuberculosis test when you start. And I got it done twice. And the first time, it's just they just take a little needle and inject, I don't know, tuberculosis into you or whatever. It's to see if you have a reaction.
They're turning you into a vampire.
I am not a vampire, and I'm upset. They injected me with something, though. And, but yeah, so the first time I was like, okay, cool. But then I heard that sometimes, your skin kind of, makes a little bubble around the injection site. Not a bad way, but it's whatever they injected you with kind of just, rises up. Because it's just, an under the skin. Rise up, rise up. Because it's just, an under the skin injection, not, an intravenous or anything.
Right.
And so the second time I got it done, my skin bubbled up. And this is, the only time I've ever almost passed out. Weird. I don't know. There was something so freaky about, and it wasn't even a big bubble. It was just, a little, it looked like a pimple or something. But all of a sudden, weird. It just freaked me out. And the nurse that, administered it to me was just oh my god, someone get her an orange juice. It's head between the knees. I'm oh. So, anyways, I don't have tuberculosis.
That's good.
So,
I've never had a test, so...
Maybe you haven't.
And maybe I'm a vampire.
You're probably a vampire.
Okay. I'll take it.
Okay. So, anyways... during consumption, aka tuberculosis, villagers believe that the first to die, like out of like the families and stuff, they were the actual vampires, and that they would come out at night to sink their teeth into their next victim. Like, because obviously it's a disease, and so, like, you would spread it to another family member.
Right.
So they're thinking that, like, oh, the first person died, they're a vampire, and they're coming to take, you know, their brother or sister, or mom or dad down with them. And then, like, a whole family would die, and they would think, like, oh, yeah, they all died because of, you know.
They're all vampires.
Yeah, Uncle Bob was a vampire.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Yes, this is a little ridiculous, yo. And then they would exhume the suspected vampire, and if it wasn't, quote-unquote, decomposed enough for them, they would cut open the body, slice into the organs, and if the organs contained blood, vampire. Like,
if the organs contained blood.
Yes.
I mean...
Well, yeah.
I mean, a long shot here. Long shot. But, like, I think organs contain blood.
Shut the fuck up. No, they don't. Get out of here.
I mean, it's just me, the vampire, talking. So.
No. You would know. It's a ruse. She's trying to make you believe this. Don't listen to her. She's a vampire. So, it was thought to be a more demonic spiritual possession, this vampire. Like, not like a more sucky blood, like, but the evil bond needed to be broken by, you know, the accusers of the dead vampire person. And they needed to break this bond by burning infected organs and sometimes feeding the ashes to the ill of their family that were supposedly the prey of the vampire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
Oh my god.
Why don't we do that now?
I don't know. Feed me some ashes so I don't be a vampire. Oh, dude, if Van Helsing only knew that.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, hell yeah, whatever. He would have stopped so many vampire... Sorry, I just burped. Goddamn soda water. Alright, and also some were even beheaded and the bones were rearranged into skull and crossbones. Little aggressive.
Yeah.
And also less aggressive. I believe it was Massachusetts, Maine, and one other state. They were like the less aggressive people about this. Their solution was they would dig up the body and just simply turn them so they're facing down.
Yeah, that's less aggressive.
That's far less aggressive.
I like, it's kind of like they're not gonna harm me if I just turn them around.
It's like the same logic of like hiding under your blanket exactly so the bad guy doesn't get you.
If I just move the body, it won't get me.
Yes. If I just make it so it looks down, it's gonna get confused.
It can't see me.
Because it's gonna try to go up, but really it's going down.
Oh my god. Sorry, that was a terribly loud laugh, but...
Oh, it's because it was so funny.
It's just picturing it in my mind. Digging up this grave, opening up the casket and this person, and then they're just like, let me just flip you over real quick, and then we'll be good.
And then no more vampire. Your vampire days are done.
And then, like, also picturing the part of if it was a real vampire, that the vampire would be so confused. It would just start digging downward to get out of the grave.
Just like, I don't understand. It was the right way yesterday. Today it's not.
Oh, man.
So, anyways, we're gonna circle back now.
Okay.
Okay. So, back to Exeter, Rhode Island, and our good little last vampire. And which makes me kind of think of, like, what is it, the little vampire movie? The one with, like, that little dorky kid. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
The blonde kid.
Yeah. Yes.
The littlest last vampire.
The littlest last vampire.
His body was exhumed and eaten.
Eaten.
No, he wasn't. Sweet little boy. I wonder what he's up to. I hope he's doing good. How you doing? If you're listening, let us know how you feel. All right. Thank you. So back to Exeter, Rhode Island. A farmer by the name of George Brown watched his wife Mary die in 1883. Then his oldest daughter died in 1888. And then his daughter Mercy died in 1892. And shortly after Mercy died, his son Edwin fell ill. Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. You
just
dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So the villagers, they convinced George to exhume his whole family, basically, to see if they were vampires.
Oh.
And George reluctantly agreed, obviously. Like, hey, man, we're going to dig up your family to see if they're vampires. He's like, I don't really think they're vampires. I really don't want you to do that. They're like, nah, come on, they're definitely vampires. He's like, I guess, let's do it. Why not? Like, that's how I picture that conversation to go.
Right?
So, Mary, because they're the mom and the oldest daughter had the same name.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed. That was not a typo.
Mary and Mary.
They were bones. So, that
Bones.
was to be expected.
Yeah.
Because at this point, they had been dead 9 and 4 years.
Right.
So, but Mercy, Mercy was intact. Needless to say, she also died in midwinter. So, she wasn't, like, kind of frozen or anything and, like, kept in her form.
Right.
Couldn't really decompose. I don't know if you've ever seen winter in New England.
Yes.
But.
Or, like, anybody that's, like, frozen on a mountain. They're pretty much intact.
Yeah. So, but, the village, they're like, oh, sus AF. They noticed that her fingernails had grown and her hair, which we know now that's just like part of human decomposition. Your fingernails and your hair doesn't really grow. It's just your skin regressing. Yeah, it's skin regression. They didn't grow. Sorry, villagers. But anyways, no, they're like, vampire. So the village is convinced she's a vampire. Then they cut out her heart. They burned it. Right. And then they made her brother drink the ashes.
And because he was sick.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, they did that. Do you know what happened to the brother?
He died.
He did die,
yeah. Oh my goodness, I could have... Just a guess.
Because that's not medicine.
No. Oh, man.
So, yeah. The story was carried across the Atlantic, and it's rumored that Bram Stoker, the writer of Dracula, has clippings of it in his, like, personal files and used it as, like, a partial reference.
Oh.
Which I thought was cool. Oh, yeah. And then you can visit Mercy's grave in Chestnut Hill Cemetery. A path goes through the cemetery, and about halfway down on the left is the brown plot under an evergreen tree. Mercy's grave is reinforced with a metal band connecting to a post to protect it against people trying to steal her headstone. Because apparently that's a popular thing to do.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I'd also like to have a shout out to Robert Coach, because he identified tuberculosis, and now we don't have to assume that everyone that dies from tuberculosis is a vampire.
I mean, why not?
Well, why not?
Why not? It's just, it definitely makes me pretty grateful that we live in this time and we don't generally dig up bodies and consume them.
Typically, yeah, we do not do that as a society.
Yeah. Like, and also, I mean, like, we kind of know there's no such thing as vampires.
But do we?
I mean, like, if you really want to get into that, conversation of, like, vampires, and, like, I would go into, like, the alien route, and, like, I'm sure there is, but, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, like...
You're just exasperated right now.
Well, it's just when you're telling me about this or Grave of Last.
You're telling me this.
You're telling me about this story. Yeah, and it's just mind-boggling. Just what they thought, like,
was okay.
Years ago, and it's to think like that was like.
It was.
What did we think? 126.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Or 128.
128, yeah.
Yeah, 100. We said 100.
No, 126.
No, 128 because we're doing the math from what how old your children are and what their negative age would have been.
That was it wasn't actually in the Lizzie Borden episode that's coming out but after this one, but we were talking about it beforehand.
Yeah.
But yes, so 128
yes.
years ago.
Because we have to do dumb math like this.
That's not that long.
No,
it's not.
It's really
I just
not.
watched on the news. This lady's 108 years old.
Dude.
And she survived the Spanish flu.
She's 20 years shy of dealing with fucking vampires.
And that's crazy. Like, to think, like... I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's the turn of the century.
But it's just like the whole witches and stuff too. Like people thinking there's frickin' witches.
Frickin' witches.
Frickin' witches. And I mean, obviously, there are people who obviously practice like Wicca and whatnot, which is great. I'm all for
but
it.
not witches to the caliber of like
of what they thought.
The Salem witch trials.
Yes,
like making pacts with Satan and fornicating with him.
Yes, and then like now that where it's vampires and no, it's a fucking plague.
Oh my god, dude, I don't know. I just don't know. Ooh,
it's getting aggressive out there.
They're unhappy about it as well. The cats heard it and they're like, "This is
we will
bullshit.
Not have this.
We will not stand for this. Thank you." But yeah, the fun things that people used to think,
and it's crazy to me too because, I'm sure there were people with common sense, just like if there was blood in the organs, then they were vampires. And I'm sure there were people with common sense that'd be like, no, bitch, there's fucking blood in all your organs, in your body.
Yeah.
Like, but
oh, yeah.
they don't, for some reason, we never believed those people until, like...
5 years ago. Like...
5 years ago, if you had blood in your organs, you were a vampire.
But simply 4 years and 10 months ago, we realized that wasn't true.
But no, it's just like, obviously, I'm sure there were people with common sense back then, but just the amount of people that really, truly believed these things, it's astounding. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and well, that's, like, why it was called a panic, too. Like, because it kind of reminded me of, like, the Satanic Panic. like in the 80s, like, you know, how Satan's everywhere and it's in the music. If you play this Led Zeppelin album backwards, it says,
you're listening to Satan.
Satan's butthole singing. But, because, like, it's a panic. People, like, they got people into, like, this hysteria.
Yeah.
They got the panties in a knot.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, yeah, dude, the vampires are totally real. They're gonna kill your family. They're gonna take your whole family down, and they're gonna take your neighbors, and then we're all gonna be fucking vampires. And not actually having sex with vampires. We're just gonna be, like, expletive vampires. You know, I feel like that came out weird. Like, we're gonna be fucking vampires. Sorry.
Everybody's just having an orgy with the vampires now.
Now that sounds like a party.
Oh.
10 out of 10. Let's get behind that train.
Okay, and I know, so obviously there were other epidemics, pandemics, whatever the fuck, plagues before this.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of like, you don't think that you would figure out that maybe people are just sick?
No, because, you know, anything knee-jerk reaction is, it's witches, it's vampires, it's
the unimaginable.
It's because we didn't have a good crop harvest this year.
We did not do our rain dances correctly.
Our quota on our corn was low.
We did not sacrifice enough.
Dude, yeah. No, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Because, like, when was, like, the bubonic plague?
The 1400s?
Right, okay. So that's obviously a long time before
that was
this.
A few years ago, yeah.
But, like, you think, I don't know. I guess, like, it's just astounding that it took however many years for somebody, like, the coach guy.
Yeah.
To figure out it was tuberculosis.
Oh, yeah.
And did it have a year?
I don't remember.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course. Everything has a year.
Yes. But, like, I'm assuming that wasn't that long of a time. Considering it was only 128 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, going back to the bubonic plague. Okay, so you have, like, 400 years between, like, bubonic plague and... the bubonic plague. And this consumption.
Yeah.
You wouldn't learn anything in that 400 years that would be like, you know, that's a little familiar. There were people sick like 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, maybe 100 years ago with this like other disease that like, maybe this is a disease.
Yeah, you know, but at the same time, like, what kind of histories were handed down between people?
No, I'm sure. Yeah. It's just, you know,
it's just, someone would take note and be like, hey, I'm gonna write this down, this could come in handy later.
And yeah you'd think.
But no, everyone had ghosts in their blood and they did cocaine.
Yeah,
that's it. It's fine.
It's just it's solved.
I'll put some leeches on you.
Just consume the ashes of your family.
Yeah.
You will survive.
It's fine. Just, oh my god, it's Grandma's freaking skull. I can't wait to eat this in my tea tonight. Mm-hmm.
This in my tea.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Oh my god, did you ever see that episode of My Strange Addiction?
I was literally thinking about that. And then I'm like, how is this lady not dead if she's like eating her husband's ashes?
So anyways, there's an episode of My Strange Addiction where this woman whose husband had passed away, she liked to carry his ashes around with her everywhere she went, and she started to eat them, like dip her finger into the ashes and just like lick it. And so she got on the show, and I just remember the tagline being like, I need help because I'm gonna run out one day.
And That's just terrible. But you would think that it would do something to
Like,
you.
I don't know. I don't know if it would do anything because
Maybe
it's
not
just
now,
like
but-
ashes.
Yeah.
And like it's I'm assuming that it would like be like eating little bits of like anything that was burned organically, like wood or
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. It's not like it's I don't
Let
know.
me just steep it in my tea.
Delish.
Ugh.
Little drizzle of honey. Thank you.
And maybe bake it into some bread.
Gives a new meaning to the body of Christ.
Oh boy.
No, yeah. So, yeah, vampires were a thing in New England. And apparently I read, too, that New England for a while was the vampire capital of the United States.
Vampire capital
Yes.
of the United States.
So many vampires. But it's funny because, like, I always feel like everyone associates, like, Louisiana, like, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Or Forks, Washington.
Forks. Totally Forks.
It's definitely Forks, Washington. But yeah, no, everyone associates I keep wanting to say Baton Rouge. That's why, because I was on a state capital kick the other day, and in my head while I was working, I was trying to name every state capital. And so now I can't think about New Orleans because I'm like, no, New Orleans is not the capital of Louisiana. It's Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
I don't know what goes on in my head.
It's that Nikki Encyclopedia.
Just help me.
But no, I mean, I wouldn't think that. No.
I mean, well, the only, like, vampire thing that I ever think of when it comes to New England is Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which we will discuss one day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it does make a little sense because we obviously have, like, colder months that are dark. Not all dark. That the sun goes down earlier in the winter.
Yeah.
So if you're a vampire and you only go out in the dark, then New England is for you in the winter.
In the winter.
Yeah.
Not the summer.
No,
Not the summer.
not the summer.
I don't, yeah. And I guess, like, it wouldn't be that far-fetched, like, if we already have witches and
Might as well add some werewolves.
aliens and, yeah. Werewolves, why not?
Give me them.
Give me them.
Give me them. I'll take the werewolves.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if there has to be some werewolf lore for,
That's our.
yeah, we're
That could be a
gonna,
research project.
that should definitely be a research project because if we have vampires, we gotta have werewolves because they just go hand in hand.
Yes.
And then maybe there's mummies.
Mummies.
Mummies. Oh my god, if you were a vampire, like, what kind of vampire would you want to be? Like, out of any, done in the media, movies, books.
Well, I don't know. That's hard.
Like, would you want to be, like, Dracula kind of vampire? Nosferatu? Would you want to be a Cullen? Would you want to be... True Blood.
So, okay. So I know, like, in Vampire Diaries. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
if this
I've
is...
never watched Vampire Diaries,
You've
but go
never?
on. No, I
thought you
haven't.
did. Or maybe that was Ashley.
No, I think Kat.
And Ashley.
Oh, yeah, but I remember you and Kat talking about it
Okay.
recently. What's up, Kat and Ashley?
So, I know in Vampire Diaries, so if the original vampire of, like, your bloodline, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, I have not watched every season, but I vaguely remember this.
Noob.
I vaguely remember that I think, like, if the vampire that, you know, like the OG vampire of your bloodline dies,
Mm-hmm.
then like every vampire
In
from
that
stemming
bloodline.
from that person, vampire, dies too. And so, like, I would not want that to happen because, like...
Wait, so question about that. So the OG one, does that include, like, say, like, you know, you got, like, 6 generations of vampires, so to speak, in this one bloodline. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you got the great-great-grandpappy vampire and
Right.
so on and so forth. Say, like, the third one died. Does that mean, like, the ones underneath it die?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been a long time.
Yo, if anyone has these answers for me, please email or comment or something. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure it's just like the first,
Okay.
because I know there were like first vampires.
Yeah.
You know, and there I think were multiple, and so I think that vampire, if that one dies,
Okay.
I think, I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I feel like that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? I don't like that.
Yeah,
So I
that
wouldn't
is
want
bullshit.
that. And, like, I do like the appeal of being a Cullen-type vampire because you can kind of live a semi-normal life, except for the sparkly shit.
Yeah.
And, like, you just, like, generally, like, when you become a vampire, you're kind of like, I'm beautiful.
That's true.
And that's just me being
Glow
vain,
up.
you know? And, like, who wouldn't want to be, like, their best self as a vampire?
You know what's another plus to Cullen Vampire? Don't sleep.
Yes. And going back to our next episode with Lizzie Borden, we mentioned that if we didn't sleep, we'd get so much done.
Yeah, I would do so much.
And that's a perk. Like, not having to go into, like, a
Coffin
slumber
or whatever,
during
yeah.
the day in your coffin or whatever the hell.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I
True
like
Blood, that was...
Yeah. Like everything. Like, interview. I can't think of another, like, type of vampire that they don't have some sort of... Like, they're not confined to some...
In Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Because they have, like, witches and werewolves and whatnot.
Yeah.
There are these rings. I'm pretty sure that a witch has to make or curse something, whatever. And you can... It's called a daylight ring. And you can wear it.
So then you can become Blade, the Daywalker.
Yes.
Oh, Blade was another good one. Why didn't we talk about Blade?
I don't think I've really seen Blade.
Really? They're remaking Blade.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
You sound very excited about
I
it.
know. I don't know why I'm so monotone right now.
I'm very excited about it.
No, oh my gosh, Mahershala Ali. He's gonna be the new Blade. He was, he was in Moonlight, and I loved him in the 3rd season of True Detective. Holy shit, he did so good in that. But I'm excited for him being Blade the Daywalker. I mean, like, Wesley Snipes, man, though, you did a great job.
Yeah, I think I've seen bits and pieces of it, but
Yeah. It's just like a fun action thing. I don't know. I'm into like going back and looking at the comics. Ooh, you know what's another good vampire? 30 Days a Night.
ooh,
I like those ones. They're possibly like on my top tier of what kind of vampire I'd like to be because they're just absolutely fucking brutal.
yeah,
And, like, they're just like, oh, we're just gonna stay in the freaking Arctic Circle where it's nighttime all the time.
right,
And, like, I'm like, yo, that's a vampire using their head.
right,
Look at that shit.
right. So, like, I guess it depends on if you want to be more of a, like, I guess you would put it in, like, 3 categories. If you want to be the beautiful vampire and live your life of glamour and wealth because that's what you've accumulated, or you have the brutal vampires that just don't care and they're just out to suck your blood and kill you and blah blah blah, and then you have, like, I don't know,
What's the 3rd category?
maybe I only have 2.
Maybe there's two. I don't know.
Well, no. Okay, so
Okay,
like maybe
what's the
more of
third?
like a traditional vampire.
Like Interview with a Vampire kind of vampire?
Yeah, or like, yeah, or kind of like Vampire Diaries. Like, you're just like a traditional vampire. Like, you can go out, but like, yeah.
I also, so I do like Interview with a Vampires. Solely alone because I love Queen of the Damned so much because it has a fire soundtrack. Dude, the Deftones are on it. It's so good. I want you.
Say that again?
No, just a taste. But yeah, those are cool vampires. I don't know. What are the shitty vampires? What's like the absolute shittiest vampire that you don't want to be? Like, or is there a shitty one? Or do you think like all vampires are kind of pretty fucking cool?
I mean, I don't know what a shitty vampire would be.
I feel like you just got so serious and sad. You're like, what? What?
There's no such thing as a shitty vampire. No, I don't know. I like vampires, so...
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a bad representation that I just like absolutely turn my nose up to. Because I don't know. I think they're all pretty great. Like, they're all supposed to be... Like, I love like that... I do love like the classic one being like, oh, like... There's like some sexual like appeal.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? But it's dangerous and they're gonna fucking kill you.
Right.
Like, I love True Blood.
Like that. Like, that's like the traditional vampire.
Yeah, what's up, Eric Northman?
Yeah. And then like, then you have your, you know, brutal, I'm just out to kill you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other movie, film, shows are equal to like 30 Days a Night vampires. I don't know. Fuck. What are the ones that are like super brutal vampires? I don't know. All I'm thinking of is fucking werewolf movies.
I know. I keep thinking it was Underworld, but that's...
Yeah, no.
Is that kind of both, or is that...
No, I would consider Underworld more of the classic vampire.
Yeah.
Because, like...
No, definitely.
Kate Beckinsale's, like, hot as shit, and, like, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah. and then you just have your... I don't know. Obviously, you have your, like... I feel like it's just Twilight. It's like it's in its own category. Like, you're beautiful. You live your life. You're just a vampire, and...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they kind of have, like, a traditionally type thing going on, but it's just the whole, like...
Yeah.
They can kind of go out in daylight and not die.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, like, that would be my one thing with Twilight that I don't like is I feel like they make them too, like, strong. Whereas, you know, like... OG vampires, they have the whole fucking sunlight thing. Like, there is some vulnerability.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like, you feel like you might have a chance if you can make it to the dawn, you know? Like,
right.
If you're caught in that situation.
I mean, Twilight is definitely, like, super fantasy vampire.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, don't get me wrong.
I'm basically
a sucker for Twilight.
Oh, same. But, like, I'm basically like a diamond. Yeah. And I'm not... It's so hard to break. God.
There's nothing.
And I'm sparkly and beautiful. And half of my vampire friends suck blood. And half of them suck the blood of animals. So we're, like, vegetarian vampires. And, like, when I talk about it, I feel like I'm, like...
No, I feel like explaining Twilight is possibly the worst fucking thing.
So terrible.
Because you're like, no, but it's really good, I swear. And then everyone's like, oh my god, that sounds like trash. You're like...
It's good, but it's also not good.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. I'm 17 forever, I guess. And just, this is my life. Whatever.
I mean, when you grow up with it, like... Yeah, I think I was like 17, 18 when I started getting into it.
Yeah.
And, well, here we are.
Here we are, 12, 13 years later. And, yeah, I am Team Edward, whatever. Like, I don't know if you asked. You know, some people ask for zodiac signs. I'm like, yo, Team Edward or Jacob?
I know. Anytime it's on TV, I turn it on, even though I have all the DVDs.
Oh, my God. I just have them DVR'd. And they're like not even the good DVR versions. Like, it's with fucking commercials.
Right.
With commercials from like Christmas time, by the way. So it's like July and I'm watching this and Rich is just like, first he's just always appalled that I'm watching
Same.
this for the 7
Sean
millionth
is too.
time and just shoving pizza in my mouth and
Yep.
just being like, leave me alone.
Well, and I think you do watch it on TV too, because I text
yeah.
you and I'm like, Twilight
on.
Marathon.
It's on. It's the part.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's the part that this happened. Oh.
I feel like you'd like Vampire Diaries, but it's
I
just...
probably would. I mean, I feel like it's probably like somewhat akin to. Oh, you know what? Fuck, we didn't even talk about Buffy.
I've never watched Buffy.
What?
I know. I need to watch it because
Dude.
I'm stupid.
If you're talking about Vampire Diaries and stuff, granted, I have not watched Vampire Diaries, but I mean, without Buffy, there would definitely not be any Vampire Diaries.
When I was younger, I watched Charmed all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I never really got into Buffy. I don't know why. I know I'd probably like it.
And I was more into Buffy than I am Charmed. The only thing I really appreciate about Charmed is their theme song is the Smiths. I am human and I can just like everyone else.
I mean, you know, growing up, I just like witches and wanted to be a witch. So I watched Charmed, and then, you know, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, yeah.
And, what was that witch movie with, like... Oh my gosh, what is that witch movie?
The Witches.
No, it's like the teenage... Teen Witch? No.
Teen Witch? The Witch movie with the teen.
Yeah.
Teen Witch?
What is that movie?
Which movie? Get it? Wait, what? I'm trying to think of what you're talking about. Harry Potter? I don't know.
No, Teen Witch.
Teen Witch, okay.
You've never seen Teen Witch?
No, okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's familiar.
Come on.
Yes, she's showing me pictures of Teen Witch.
Like, that scene where she has the dress and, like walking
God,
up to the
dress.
guy. And, like, the rap, like, that goes on and the... Oh, my God. You gotta watch... We have to watch this.
Okay.
And, fucking... Why can't I think of the other witch? I'm veering off of vampires, but...
But anyways.
With Sandra Bullock and...
Oh, yeah! I love that movie.
Margarita.
Yeah, dude.
Why can't I think of that movie?
Oh my God, the book is written by Alice Hoffman. There you go. Alice Hoffman wrote a prequel book called, Rules of Magic that I read.
Practical Magic.
Practical Magic.
I love that movie.
Yes. Oh my God, that
And
would be
obviously
a
The
good one for
Craft.
us to. Oh yeah.
Okay, we're veering off. We need to come back.
I
to
don't even
vampires.
know what this podcast was about. Did I close my notebook already? Because I read my notes.
I believe it was The Grave of the Last Vampire.
That's it. I thought you were going to say The Grave of the Last Witch for a second there. I was like, we're both just as confused. I don't know. Are you confused? Sure. Let us know in the comments below.
In the comments below.
But, you know, if you're a vampire that got buried and then got turned around, they might be above. I don't know. I hate
Just so you know, that is definitely the proper way to confuse a vampire.
Yes.
Is if you go in the grave and flip them over, and they'll be thoroughly confused for the rest of their vampire life.
Yeah, they're not gonna know.
They're just gonna keep digging to the center of the earth.
No. Oh, and then they'll get burned by liquid hot magma.
This isn't the I don't even know what I'm
Crust
saying.
the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So
Oh, boy.
Mercy Lena Brown, she is the last vampire.
Yeah, we'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, she, like, you know what? And it's pretty crazy because she lived a life and didn't know that, her death, she would become so infamous.
Yeah.
She didn't know this shit.
No.
She's just living her life.
Just living her life.
And died of consumption, aka tuberculosis. Should have gotten one of those tuberculosis tests.
Come on, why didn't they have those?
Damn it, Koch. Right? Is that pronounced? Oh my god, I don't know why.
Coach?
Coach?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
I don't know.
It's Koch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also German. So I don't know if it is like cock. Oh my god, I swear to you, I even looked this up. And I was just like, oh my god, yeah, that's how you say his last name. And then I fucking memory dumped the shit out of it. Because I kept being like, cock.
Cock.
Oh, are you doing it?
I was gonna look it up. Did you say cook? That doesn't help me. The German pronunciation. I think it's cook. It says surname that means cook. Maybe you say cook.
Coke. Coke.
Cook.
Coke.
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 Yes, like not Pepsi, but Coke. So it's not cock. Coke.
Coke.
Great.
That makes sense.
I'm so happy I know that now.
All right. I think
we're good.
it's time.
It is time. So, thank you so much for listening
Thank you.
again. And we appreciate you. And if you could subscribe. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube. I don't know what else you got. We'll be on it. Why not? Fuck it. And come follow us on our Twitter. We'll post something on there one day. And follow us on Instagram. And if you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to add to our topic today, shoot us an email at newstrangelandpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.
Shoot us an email.
And then you just slip and slide in those DMs, baby. Just slip real good. Promise. We won't give you tuberculosis yet.
We won't cut out your organs.
And burn them and eat them.
We won't flip you upside down either.
No. Only if you ask nicely. Not without your consent. So I'm Nikki.
I'm Carissa.
And thanks for visiting New Strangeland.